Hi, everybody. Welcome to the International Great Black Read Aloud Day 2022. I want to thank L.D. Robinson, the promoter, the activist for this particular day. It's supposed to be one day, but we have decided to do it all month. Well, let me just say she has decided to do it all month. Last year we did do it all month. I have not been able to do it every day in the month of February, but please, thank you, LD, for putting up with me and making sure that I do my part for the International Great Black Read Aloud Day 2022. For those who don't know, LD Robinson is the owner and operator of Ladero Design Works here in the beautiful city of Deltona, Florida. And so today, in honor of Lamont, Gant, and Marlon McCaulsky, and Miss Victoria V. Marie Brock, we are going to do Return. On this 13th day of February, it is Sci-Fi Day. And I did think that we should look at Return for our reading today. They are coming back to Daytona Beach on the 15th of February at Embry-Riddle University at 6 p.m. So thank you very much, Lamont, Marlon, and Victoria for bringing us Return, for writing the novel, and for being a part of the International Great Black Read Aloud Day 2022. So this is about, I don't want to give away the film because it's an exquisite film. If you're a sci-fi person, you will really love it from the beginning to the end. So this is about a melanin family, a Black family, that is from another planet. And they have been here on Earth for many, many years. And they have indoctrinated themselves into the environment. But, you know, even though they've been here, there's some pitfalls for being from another planet and trying to be on this Earth the way that we supposedly live. And so I just want you to see the film. As I said, it will be at Embry-Riddle University on Tuesday, 6 p.m. It's free, and it's part of their Black History Month celebration. So thank you so much. It's Return. You can get it on Amazon. You can probably get it through Marlon McCaulsky on Facebook or Lamont Gant on Facebook. I'm not familiar with Victoria, but if you reach out to her, I'm sure she can get you a copy too. So this is about the family that has, you know, indoctrinated themselves on Earth and have become a part of the everyday life. But, you know, things don't go quite exactly the way they want. So the family, this is 1992. It is the first chapter of Return. Here's the back, here's the front. Great movie, I can't wait to see it again. 1992. There's nothing like the love a father has for his son. Before Benjamin Lathan was born, his father promised he would always take care of him. As far as David and Christine Lathan were concerned, Benjamin was a miracle child. They didn't believe they could even conceive a baby, but to their surprise, they did. And 10 years later, he was still a healthy and energetic young boy. David wished he felt half as energetic as his son because he could feel his body failing. Each day he felt his strength leaving him. His condition even started to affect his wife's health as well. David stared at his son in the backseat of his car, playing with his toys, and knew this would be the hardest thing he would ever have to do. There was no getting around it. Christine sat on the passenger side, holding back tears. The thought of her son losing both parents was so terrifying for her. What they both thought was a miracle was turning into a curse. As soon as they pulled into Christina's mother's driveway, David coughed. It was a hard, painful cough, and his nose began to bleed. He glanced in the rearview mirror and took a napkin from the center console and wiped it. Christine rubbed his back and David touched her, forcing a smile to reassure her that he could make it. Benjamin knew his father was sick, but had no idea how bad it was. Soon he was standing on the porch of his grandmother's house with his parents behind him. David rang the doorbell. A few minutes later, the door opened and Ben's grandmother appeared. "Hi," Judith exclaimed. "You guys look ready to enjoy your anniversary." Christine smiled. "Like you wouldn't believe it, Mom, like you wouldn't believe it." "Thank you for looking after Ben," David told her, attempting to shuffle back a cough. "Now, you know I will use any excuse to spend time with my handsome grandson." She looked at him. "We're going to have so much fun." A hard cough escaped David, and Judith looked at him with concern in her eyes. Oh, that's awful. Are you sure you're okay to be making this trip, David?" He smiled and nodded. "I'm just a bit under the weather. I'll be fine." Judith nodded, but he didn't look close to being fine in her eyes. She looked at her daughter and could tell by the look on her face something else was going on. She wanted to ask her, but with Benjamin in the midst of it, it wasn't a good time nor the place. Perhaps once they returned, she would have a word with them. Benjamin looked at his dad. When are you coming back?" David bent down and spoke to his son. He hated lying to him, but the truth of the situation he was facing was too complex for a child to understand. It wasn't fair, but little in this life is fair. He smiled and placed his hand on his son's shoulders. "We're just going to have a good weekend. We're just going to get away. We're going to be, just gone for a little while. And you're going to be a good boy, right? You're going to be a good boy for your grandparents." Yeah, I will. "Remember, son, it doesn't matter how far away we are from each other. We're always with you." He touched his chest. Christine bent in front of her son. "Just remember, we love you, Ben." She kissed his forehead. He nodded. "Okay, Mom." Judith thought it was a bit odd the way they were speaking to him. It wasn't the first weekend they'd left him in her care, so why were they talking to him like this, she wondered. David handed Judith an envelope. "This should take care of any extras that should pop up." "Now, you know that's not necessary." She pushed his hand away. Please, he insisted. "It would make us feel better if you did." Looking at the two, Judith nodded and took it. "I love you, Mom." Christine hugged her. "I love you too." They said their goodbyes and left. Benjamin, as usual, sat on the couch and started taking his toys out of his backpack. Judith thought their behavior was odd, to say the least. She went into the kitchen and opened the envelope. Inside was a check. Not just any check, but enough to pay for Benjamin's future college tuition and a bit left over. The next day, Ben sat in front of the TV while Judith was on her cell phone trying to reach her daughter to see if they had made it to their destination. She kept getting her voicemail and was concerned. Hearing her doorbell ring, Judith got up, went to the front door, and looked out at the peephole. She was surprised to see an officer at the door. A dreadful feeling came over her as she slowly opened the door. "Mrs. Judith Williams?" "Yes." "Ma'am?" "I'm Officer Giles. I regret to inform you that the Sensa, your daughter and son-in-law, were flying on, lost contact with air traffic control and disappeared over the Florida Keys." "What?" What? No, 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 no. She shook her head in disbelief. What are you, what? I'm sorry, ma'am. It's like the plane disappeared out of thin air. Ben stood behind his grandmother listening to the bad news with tears strolling down his face. And that is Returned by Marlon McCaulsky, Lamont Gant, and Victoria Marie. Please get a copy. Come see us on Tuesday at 6 o'clock at Embry-Riddle University. And this has been the International Great Black Read Aloud Day 2022, and it is sci-fi. And thank you, L.D. Robinson, for putting my feet to the fire and making this happen today. And I hope everybody has a great Valentine's Day. Good night.